Last week I said, if Carlsberg did football results, that had been a great weekend for us. And yet they then go on and do it all over again this weekend. So what a fantastic weekend it is for us yet again. Arsenal lose, West Ham lose, Man United lose, all supposed top four rivals. Pretty unexpected results, to be fair. I don't think anyone saw Man United being beaten by Everton, and obviously Arsenal against Brighton was a result that pretty much you didn't see coming, because to be fair, both of those teams, Everton and Brighton, have both been having a bit of a torrid time. So for those guys to get results against those teams is pretty good. I mean, the controversial one, I guess, is the Arsenal result, because obviously they had their offside goal. I sat watching it with my son-in-law Ian, and as soon as they played it up and put the thing on there, we're going, that's offside. It's tight, and if it's against your team, then you would be absolutely fuming for that to be given offside. But if you look at the line and the way they give it, for me, it was an offside. For it to take 4 minutes for them to work out, I was going, nah, they'll just give it to Arsenal, because that's the sort of result Arsenal would always get, and that would have given them a draw out of the game. But sadly for them, it wasn't to be. I'm happy with that. No problem whatsoever. I'll take that all day long. But I have to say, if I was an Arsenal fan, I'd be absolutely fuming at that result, and that could be, a turning point in the sort of top four race, I guess. I mean, it's not going to be easy. I mean, everyone's saying it's all in our hands now, Tottenham. It's in our hands. We've got the advantage. 3 points ahead. Blah blah blah. And they've still got a game in hand. And anything can happen. As you can see, Everton winning, Brighton winning. Anything can happen. Any team can beat any team in the Premier League. Apart from possibly the real elite of Liverpool and Man City, who no one seems to be able to touch. Anyone really can beat anyone. I mean, bear in mind, we beat City, and we're probably the only ones who've really given them a real game from that perspective. So I don't know. I still believe it's possible, and I'll be happy if it happens. But I shall just wait and see, because I've been watching Tottenham for far too long to believe that it's going to be as simple as this. I've said it before and I'll say it again, doing it the hard way since 1882. That's Tottenham, right? And we're waiting for something to go wrong. And potentially, it could all go Pete Tong, right towards the end and all the rest of it. But, hopefully it's not. We've got a favourable running. So you've got to take it, you've got to take it for what it is. But I'm not counting my chickens. Enjoy the win. That's what you have to do. Enjoy the games that you do win. Enjoy the results that you do get, because that's the important. It's not about, it's 38 games. It's the whole way through the league. That's where you get to the end of it. But at the same time, it's the individual games that you have to celebrate. You have to enjoy. Hopefully, not always the same. And who can believe it? Given the way we've been playing and the start that we had, that we would still be up there and in the box seat for top four. Because I mean, this could be the best season for us to get it. If we get it this season, that could be enough to push us on, if Daniel Levy decides to do the right thing and actually invest in the manager and in the squad. It just really depends on that. Without top four, next season's going to be even more difficult, because undoubtedly Arsenal will strengthen, undoubtedly West Ham will strengthen, because they'll feel like they're on the up. Newcastle are now, are they going to be a force to be reckoned with, with the money that they can spend and so on. So it's going to be a tough ask to do it continually. So we, ideally we need it this, this time for us to actually be able to build for the future, and that's what all Tottenham fans, I guess, are hoping for. In terms of yesterday's game, I have to say Hugo Lloris, wow, what a performance he put in the first half. We were, to be fair to Villa, we were getting battered. I mean, they had so many opportunities. Hugo made a couple of really good saves, but their finishing was woeful. Danny Ings had a terrible game. His miss was probably the defining moment, really, of that half. And to not go in losing was a big plus. I have to say, their aggression in the game. I mean, I'm a fan of aggression. I do like to see teams really put it about and get involved. However, in the nature of the game these days, I can't see that that was right. There were some terrible tackles going in today's in today's day and age. The one against Doherty, which didn't get a booking, didn't get a foul or anything, has now put him out for the rest of the season. And to be fair, how long has it been now that we've started to say, well, Doherty's become really good. He's getting better. We were all like, no one would be bothered if he was out for the rest of the season. And yet now we probably are a little bit concerned that that he's out, because it's a shame for him, because he's just starting to come into form. He's just starting to find his feet and get a little bit of confidence. And it would have been nice for him to really see where he could go the rest of this season. But sadly, that's not to be. And the lad's out, and that aggression was clear to see. I was surprised at Gerrard on the sidelines. He had I think was it Kulusevski? He went over or something, and Gerrard was like, really, why, that's so weak, blah blah blah. And yet just before that, for a free kick, I mean, there was a bare touch on one of the Villa players and he went down like a sack of shit. So you've got to be consistent, Stevie boy. You can't have it one way or the other, and that aggression that you've asked the players to give, they gave it. But a couple of them challenges could have been very dodgy. I thinking back to the Ashley Young one when he kicked Kane over. I mean, absolutely no attempt to play the ball, took the player straight out, and deservedly got a yellow card. But I mean, really, in today's game, is that really what we should be seeing? But listen, Villa did really well in terms of their performance. I don't think they should be ashamed. Certainly of the first half. I thought the first half they played particularly well. Some of their passing was really, really good. But I think once Tottenham got in front, that was it. There was no coming back from that. And let's be honest, we've had 9 goals in the last 2 games, and Kane hasn't scored any of them. But he's still been instrumental in so much of that, in terms of his vision and his passing and his assists and his pre-assists and all that kind of stuff. I mean, his little flick on to Sonny was, awesome. You could see what he was doing. He looked that way, saw where he was going, knocked it that way, and now, as I say, the rest pretty much is history. So just touching back quickly on the Doherty situation, we have got Reggie and we have got Sessegnon back now. So how long for, God only knows, because them two seem to be fairly injury prone. But that will help us out from the left-hand side. The only issue, I guess, is the right-hand side. What happens there? Emerson, still a bit of a worry. He's still not won the fans over. He's still not really finding his groove yet. There's time. He's only a young kid, so there's time. I guess the question for me is, what's happened to Japhet Tanganga? Where's he in all this? Is he still out injured? Because him and Skip have been out for so long now. They're almost the forgotten men. And to be fair, I know Japhet does. He's a little bit controversial because he can be a bit hit and miss, but he did show some really good signs when he first came into the game, and I really like to see him back fit and playing and sort of building on that. Because for me, I think he's a better, longer term, I think he's a better option. I might be wrong, you know, it's all about opinions, isn't it? So, but I don't think we can not go through a video and review of the game yesterday and not touch on Heung-min Son. I mean, you know, 3 goals, all different. I mean, first one, instinctive, comes back off the post, instinct, bosh, straight in, you know, inside of the post, and it's a goal. Absolutely delightful. The next one after that, getting the assist from Kulusevski, who played the ball in, picked out a lovely ball, and Son then showed another side of the game and placed it. Absolutely knew what he was doing, knew where he was going with it, knew what he was going to do all the way along, calling for it. Well played, very unselfish. And that's his second. And then the third, of course, is all about his pace. So 3 really different goals, you know, but that just shows what quality he's got, even though he's not been playing his best football, to be fair. I think if you watch on social media some of the posts and some of the comments that people are making, you know, you can tell that he's not been playing to the standard that we've expected from him. But he's still banging the goals in left, right and centre, which shows you cannot really leave him out of the team. He's so important, such a brilliant player, and fantastic for the club. And, you know, it's great to see him. He clearly links up really well with all the other players. He's obviously popular. Everyone seems to love him. You know, you don't want to lose that out of you don't want to lose that out of your team. So fantastic from him. You know, lovely hat-trick. Kulusevski as well with his goal, well taken. You know, I thought the chance had gone, to be fair. I thought, what's he doing? Chance has gone there. But, you know, how he scored that, you know, and again, 21 years of age, coming into a new league, half the season had already gone, and there he is banging the goals in. So, you know, really, really top performance overall. Another stonking win, and as I say, puts us in the driving seat. So all we've got to do now is hope that we can maintain that consistency, because that's the thing that, as Tottenham fans, we've called out year after year after year. We can play some great football, but then be so inconsistent. You know, win one, lose one, win one, lose one. We run that we were on, but I mean now that's like ancient history, and we are scoring for fun. A clean sheet as well, which is fantastic as well, to actually get a clean sheet. So what more could you ask for? You know, what more could you ask for? You know, Tottenham win, Arsenal lose, exactly what the doctor ordered. Man United lose as well, which gives us even more opportunity. And West Ham obviously dropping down the league, which is from our point of view great to see, because they have been a rival and they have been playing really, really well. So, you know, I'm a happy bunny. Great to have the 3 points on the board. And it's over to Tottenham again on the weekend to see how we get on against Brighton, which will be very, very interesting, considering that they've just beaten Arsenal, and they'll be full of confidence going into that game. But I don't think anyone can take the confidence away from Spurs at the moment. I think the way the players are playing and believing in each other really, really shows. So onwards and upwards, up the Spurs.